Are you running into issues coloring your artwork in Procreate? Or are you new to the design program and you feel pretty overwhelmed by the coloring process? If that's the case, then this video is for you. Today, I'm covering the top 4 mistakes coloring in Procreate, and I'm showing you how to fix them. Number 1, issues using the drop color feature. So I don't know about you guys, but one of the common issues I always run into while using the drop color feature is the color not filling in the entire shape. And for some reason, there would be a gap between the color and the line art. At first, I would try to solve this issue by simply coloring over all the gaps between the line art. But then after doing this a few times, I learned this would take me forever. So here is one of the solutions I've found to fix this issue. And that is to increase the color threshold. For those who don't know, the color threshold allows you to choose how much or how little of the color that you want to appear in the shape. So let me show you how it works. So first, you're going to go to your color picker and choose whatever color you want. Then you're going to take that color and drop it into any shape, and then hold your Apple Pencil down until you see a blue bar pop up at the top of your screen. Here is your color threshold option. So while holding your Apple Pencil down, if you drag it to the left, you would decrease the color threshold and you will have less color in your object. But if you drag your Apple Pencil to the right, you will increase your color threshold until you fill the entire shape all the way to the edge of your line art. Number 2, color spilling outside the shape. So you find yourself trying to color your artwork, and for some reason, every time you try to drop color into a shape, your color ends up filling up the entire screen. But here's one of the things you want to look out for if this is happening to you. And that's to zoom into your design and make sure that all your line art is closed. And as you can tell right here, mine is not, and that is why the color is spilling over the design. So how can we fix this issue? We can do so by going into the layer and closing the object. Now you should be able to drop color into your artwork with no problems. Number 3, coloring with a reference layer isn't working. Have you ever tried to color your artwork with the reference feature and for some reason the color would just spill outside the canvas? So this would happen to me and it would drive me nuts. Later on I found out this was because the layers were in the wrong order. So let me show you how I fix this. So for context, the way the reference layer works, it allows you to color between the lines while your line art goes untouched on a separate layer. You can access this feature by tapping your layers panel, then tap the layer you want to use. This is going to bring up a new panel. You're going to want to scroll down to reference. So now that we did that, our line art should now be marked under reference. For our next step, we're going to add a new layer above the reference. And now you could drag and drop color into any part of your artwork and it'll be perfectly in between the line art. And just a heads up, you can add a new layer for each color as long as it's above the reference. I personally like to keep my colors as separated as possible just in case I need to go back and make any edits. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. But before we move on, there are 2 important things you should know about the reference layer. If you add layers underneath your reference and you try to drop colors, the color will spill over the artwork or not work at all. And the second thing I want to show you is if you use line art that has a texture, there's a good chance you're probably going to get a weird coloring effect. This is because the color drop is matching the edges of the line art. I'm personally not a fan of the look, but if you like what you see, now you know how to do it. Number 4, the alpha lock is not working. So one of the issues I ran into is I would turn on alpha lock with the intention just to color inside of my shape, but for some reason I would end up coloring outside of the shape. And when I check my layers, I can see that the alpha lock is on. So let me show you how to fix this issue. For those who don't know, alpha lock is a function that allows you to color or draw, but only in your designated shape. And you can do this by going to your layers panel, tapping your shape, and going to the alpha lock function. Now, this feature only works if you color on the same layer that the alpha lock is turned on. If you try to color on any other layer, this function will not work. So this was the top 4 color mistakes in Procreate. Please drop a comment if you feel like I missed anything or you want me to cover something else in the next video. Until next time, peace.